All right, I think we're on. Welcome to Friday Night Comics, where it is Friday night, at least here on the East Coast of America, but we know it's elsewhere. It's other times elsewhere. And we have a lot of people from around the world sometimes. So happy Saturday to you. Happy early Friday to you. We hope people on the West Coast of California are okay. We hope people everywhere, Middle East are okay. We hope people uh, and we hope everyone's okay. Welcome to Friday Night Comics. We're at the Sequential Artists Workshop. We're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We have lots of courses and stuff like that. You can find it at learn.sawcomics.org. We have a 12-week memoir intensive coming up with Beth Tremblay, and that starts in just 2 weeks. There's still time to sign up for that. Next week here in the slot, Maggie Umber is going to be doing something about demon lovers. I don't know what that means. That's what makes these workshops fun. And in about a month, we're doing a graphic medicine reading that we're hoping you'll come to. That's free. It's going to be a bunch of doctors, nurses, and a patient or two reading their stories, and then having a dialogue at the end of that. That's you can find that on the same place you signed up for this. Couple comic workshops coming up or classes, comics layouts with Ramena Yee. That starts February, I forget, 14th, 13th. Drawing for Drama with Sydney Davidson. That starts February 19th or something. Oh, there's Sydney. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I won't get into it, but Saw survives from donations and tuitions, and we really appreciate it if you donated ever or tonight, especially. That helps keep these workshops free. It helps us pay the instructors, and it helps keep Saw afloat. We really appreciate that. And there are lots of ways to do that. I'll put it in the chat. So please no inappropriate speech or imagery during when we share. Keep it PG-13. We appreciate that. You can share on social media with the hashtag Friday Night Comics and use the @ symbol Comics Workshop. And I'll put Jamar's in the chat too. I think it's Jamar Nicholas, cartoonist, but I can't remember if there's underscores, so we'll get that straightened out. And you can find us at members.sawcomics.org also. And we make PDFs every week of some of the stuff that we do here. So you're welcome to upload what you do, and we'll put it into a PDF. Kind of looks like that. And we spread it out and upload it onto seesawcomics.org and which looks like that. And you can come grab it at the end of the week. Enjoy. And excuse me, here we are. Ding. Ding. Achievement unlocked. All right. I'm here with Jamar Nicholas. I'm so happy you're here, Jamar. I gotta find stop share. There it is. I'm gonna spotlight you, which means you'll get big on your own screen, unless you're already big on your own screen. Some people pin themselves.
No, here I am.
There we go.
All right, sounds good.
And I'm gonna also hide my own captions. There we go. So tell us, yeah, hello. And we want to hear about your book and we want to know what ding we want to achieve something tonight.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Tom. Well, let me start off by doing a quick introduction to myself. My name is Jamar Nicholas. I am a Philadelphia born and bred and based cartoonist, about to enjoy and celebrate almost 30 years as a cartoonist. Some of you may have never heard of me. Some of you are like, I don't know, who's this guy? It's Friday. At least I'll come to this and see what happens. But I have been in the game for a long time as a comic book artist. I started off self-publishing in the late 90s, down to webcomics and a little bit of mainstream work. And really, my claim to fame is that I've always kind of done my own work, and kind of made a name for myself off of my own IP, as the kids say these days.
Mhm.
And over the last maybe 15 years, I've been in the graphic novel space, kind of slowly migrating from the comic book world. So even though they're all kind of the same thing, we're still making comics. The traditional book space is a different language than say mainstream comics or even indie comics. So if anybody has any questions about any of those things, or maybe you want to dive a little bit more into some of the things I'm doing, I'd be happy to share. Also, before I hold up books, because that's my favorite part, Tom Hart, is I want to also say that I am also a member and on the board of the National Cartoonist Society. For any of you in here that would like to look into that, please let me know. The National Cartoonist Society is that very old society that you may have heard of, or seen these old pictures of like old guys in tuxedos and cigars back in the 1950s, like like a major newspaper cartoonist and golf carts and hitting golf balls. That thing still exists, even though it looks a lot different than it used to back then, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm happy to report that I'm the second vice president standing in the society. I'm also the Philadelphia chapter chair. So anybody that is in the Philadelphia region and like to learn more about that, please hit me up.
Do you vote
Okay.
on the Rubens?
Yes, I do.
Oh, all right. Okay. I'll talk to you after the after the show.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So, Tom, the URL for the NCS is national. Oh, got it in there, right? Thank you,
Yeah.
Sally.
Yeah.
Nationalcartoonist.com. I currently have a partnership with Scholastic underneath the graphics imprint. If you're familiar with Raina Telgemeier's work, or Dave Pilkey, Dogman, or Wings of Fire, all those things, I have a series at graphics called Leon the Extraordinary. This is a middle grade graphic novel series that I'm the author, illustrator, and creator of. I'm very proud of this. This is the first book, kind of his origin story. I did self-publish a Leon. Before that, you remember this, Tom Hart. This is
Mhm.
Leon, Protector of the Playground,
Yeah.
which I kind of parlayed into this Scholastic deal. And here's my newest book, Leon, Worst Friends Forever, not Best Friends, Worst Friends. So all of my books have a really great heart. That's what I did there. And kind of speak to what it really means as a 10-year-old, and kind of going back into my own fascination with having an imagination and also loving superheroes. The greatest thing about these books is that it really has nothing to do with superheroes. Right. So we find out in these books that Leon is a kid who lives in a world where superheroes are real, but he himself is ordinary. So how can a kid who has no superpowers save his school? Got to read it and find out. Um, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Another part of my background is that I have been an educator for a long time. I've hosted and taught at university level, like higher ed, and also continuing ed, and also grade school, after school. One of my favorite groups of people are fourth and fifth graders. So they have the greatest imaginations, and they just kind of let things happen, which I always enjoy teaching them and speaking with them. And I hope that I can get some of that fourth and fifth grade energy out of you guys.
I like
So
that.
thank you. Thanks for having me. So Tom, should I just get into it, or did I miss anything?
No, yeah, let's get into it.
All right, cool. All right. So what I want to
You got us
do.
all excited with that ding. We all want to hear that ding in our head.
You know what? I actually have a bell, but I don't know what I did with
Oh,
it. You can see my dirty drafting table behind me, so you can just like ding in your own head. So, the title of our workshop tonight is "Ding Achievement Unlocked." So, if you think about how a lot of things in our society these days are gamified, right? Think about how we talk about things in terms of gaming, or even Dungeons and Dragons, things like that. Things have levels to them. Or, my boss may be chaotic evil. Everybody gets that kind of stuff. We can kind of mix these terms and these worlds up. Um, I wanted to bring some of that kind of video game energy to tonight. So, Ding Achievement Unlocked is kind of like when you're playing a video game and you level up. You go from level one to level two, and you get a new shiny sword, or a new suit of armor drops down on you. Or maybe you punched 500 guys with an elbow smash, and now you unlock the new move. You kind of get it. It's the idea of starting at one place and then moving to a next phase. Not necessarily that you beat the game or something like that, but you have achieved kind of like a small footstep on your way to victory. And one of my old loves has been memoir comics. So I'm sure a lot of you may be familiar with memoir comics, and I have some examples I'm going to show here in a minute. But so just kind of lock in. That's what we're going to be working on tonight. So I hope you have your pencils and things ready. All right,
All
so I'm
right.
gonna try to share my screen here, and if things don't work, I will punt.
Okay. Should be fine.
All right.
Oh yeah. Keith Knight.
All right. So I have a quick little slide, and can you still see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. I need to see what I'm seeing. Okay. All right. So again, I've been around for a long time. I feel like Tom Hart and I were probably best friends from a SPX back in the day, and we forgot about it. But a lot of us kind of started in the same kind of, I will call it like a freshman class. You know, there's a lot of late '90s people and a lot of like early aughts people. And it's been really fantastic to see people just kind of keep going in their careers and achieve these great achievements. You see where I'm going? It's like I know what I'm talking about here. And my first exhibit is Keith Knight. Now, Keith is an acclaimed cartoonist who has a lot of accolades under his belt and has been one of the masters of kind of memoir comics without really calling them that. His character is himself, which he draws with a bulbous nose, and he draws all of his strips and sharpies. But he's got a really sharp mind and a sharp wit. And some of you guys may have been familiarized with him from that Hulu show Woke, which was Keith's show, where there was a very famous actor who portrayed Keith Knight, which was such a brain bomb for us. We're like, "Yo, Keith, that's you," but that's not you. So anyway, one of the things that I wanted to show, I think I have two Keith examples, are one of the things he calls life's little victories. And so one of the series is, I believe people still write into him and give him a panel to draw, kind of
Yeah.
like, what's a great little victory? Oh, you know what? I was about to put my jeans in the washer and I found $50. Yes, right? What a great little victory, right? Doesn't it just make your day when things like that happen? And this happened to me a little while ago. And I almost didn't tell anybody because I didn't think they'd believe me. I came out of the post office and I got into my car and I found $100 on the street, like
Oh,
right. And I picked it up and it almost felt like this has to be a trap, right?
right.
You know, like there's going to be like a fishing line on the other end of it or something. Like this can't be real. But you know, what a great little victory on a Friday, right? To find $100 in the street. So we can go through some of these. Going shopping for a Christmas tree and then finding the perfect one in less than 5 minutes. Yes. The local post office's extended holiday hours and nobody in the neighborhood knows about it. Yes. You pick up something useful from a cheap ass gift exchange. You know, that's great. So you kind of get it. Just using humor and really kind of like, and I'll never call Keith's style simple, but it's a very easy and breezy style of cartooning that is accessible. It's one of the things I always loved about Keith's work. It's not overly complicated, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I think
Mhm.
the more simple you can be as a cartoonist, the more people connect to it, the better. So let me try to um, go to the next one. Hold on a second. Oh, not you, D, not yet. All right. So here's another one. Life's Little Victories. This one's in color. Look at that. Finding an old gift card, and it still has cash on it. Yes. Um, you find a bunch of free credits on your favorite video game at the barcade. 18 credits. Yes. Right. You get it. Um, and this is always a good one. A surprise expense you had to shell out for is counteracted by an unexpected check in the mail. Oh,
Oh,
yes.
nice.
So you kind of get where I'm going with this. Um, Thinking about things in your own life that may make a really cool cartoon or maybe even like a one panel story if you're pretty savvy at kind of storytelling in a single panel could work as a great little achievement. So my idea tonight with you unlocking achievements is something in your own life that you felt you may have unlocked or won. And it doesn't have to be kind of like it's a major award. It doesn't have to be that deep. It could be, you found a great parking spot right next to the store.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Things like that. So what I love about things like this is it lets you kind of like, I don't know, zoom out a little bit from our lives because everything is so intense all the time and everybody's under so much pressure. And this is kind of like a cartoon way of smelling the flowers, if that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I don't have my things in front of me, my views, so I don't know what comes next. Okay. So my good buddy D Fish is in the building. What up, D Fish? You're in here somewhere. Um, so I wanted to spotlight another type of memoir cartooning, and D Fish is a fantastic cartoonist who I've been aware of and friends with for a really long time. And she's just been always doing really smart stuff. One thing I'm going to talk about a little later is kind of making an avatar or a character of yourself, which is going to be inserted into the thing you're going to draw tonight. So kind of put that in your pocket as we go forward. So this strip, D, are you there? Are you? I don't want you to let me hang here. Um,
Oh, D is writing in the chat. I have no idea where my pick is in the list, but I'm gonna see if I can make. I'll see if I can make D.
well, I don't want you to put her on a spotlight, but maybe if she was to like unmute,
Yeah,
then
I
we
gave her
could talk.
permission to unmute, so there we go.
Okay,
If she
and then
wants.
we'll talk about that.
Hi.
Hey, D, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
No pressure, but just want if you could just kind of like stand over there for a second, and I'm going to talk you up, and then I have some of your other kind of work throughs here. So, real quick, so one of the great things I love about D is that D is always cartooning. I think some of us
Mhm.
have some of us have this as a job, which is like probably like the pinnacle of this. And also on top of it, maybe being your job, it's a compulsion for a lot of us. You can't not be drawing. And I find that D does both of those very well. In this strip, uh, D is about to get interviewed by me, and I also, kind of on a vain thing, I love that people draw me in their comic strips for the National Cartoon Society, which D is also a member of. And there's this thing I do called NCS Studio Visits, and that's where I take some of the members and kind of do a 30-minute interview with them that all of the members get to see and interact with. So this strip is kind of outlining us getting ready for this interview. And Dee, do you have anything to add to this strip?
If you can see my video right now, you can see I didn't bother doing what I did in this strip. It is a massive mess behind me right now. Uh, just boxes, piles of books everywhere. I actually meant to clean my office up today, even before I knew about this thing.
I
And
I
yeah,
kind of threw her under the bus. I didn't, but I hope she forgives me.
not at all, not at all. I put on makeup. I put on makeup and everything.
We're all looking for the laundry basket in your screen there.
uh,
Uh,
yes.
it has clothes on top of it. You can't see the basket.
All right, so this is kind of like a great snapshot of a moment. So, what are our themes here? Well, I was going to interview Dee, and Dee was going to get ready for this interview. I can't say if you were anxious about it or nervous about it. I don't know. You're a pro. I don't know. You can tell me. But kind of uh, writing and drawing this out as a comic is, I think a great moment in time. It's not, 5 months of your life. It's a moment that
Yeah.
I think people can connect with. So, Dee, the next couple of panels I have are some of your kind of sketches. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask if you could maybe just kind of talk about your process real quick, and then
Yeah. No worries.
then
No
we'll
worries. I
then
mean,
then I'll leave you alone.
no
Oh,
worries. Yep, that was the blue lines I did. way tighter than I normally do them for my own strip, but I've never drawn you before. So I had to
Mm.
kind of work, I had to work out kind of, it's a thing. Like I've been recognized, my partner and I, Heidi, we've been recognized um, by random people who read the strip. Like they have seen us out in the wild and recognized us from the drawings. And I don't actually think I look very much like my drawings. It's a thing that's just kind of been streamlined over time,
Mm.
but it still works. And so whenever I have to put somebody new in the strip, I have to try to figure out. I have to try to like circumvent 3 years of evolution of background characters
Mhm.
and try to come down to it and streamline. Like you can see, the drawings of me
Mhm.
there are virtually just random shape.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I also cut most of the backgrounds out behind me in those other two panels. I was like, I'm not drawing them. It kills the joke if you see clean backgrounds behind me.
Uh-huh. And this the one strip, the one kind of
Oh.
hole in the strip, that's your kind of intro spot that you put in later,
Yep.
right? Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, there's I have a title panel. For the longest time, it just was this single drawing of me with a pen, kind of like Bugs Bunny, like cartoon me with the
Uh,
title of the strip and the logo and all that. I'm actually doing them now individually. Like, so whenever there's a new strip, the title panel will be a new drawing as well. I decided to make it a little bit more like the old, like, even though this is set up for comic book printing, in my brain, these are Sunday strips.
yeah, I
So
Mhm.
love
I like the idea of there being the title panel, like the classic Sunday strips, and I do them individually, right? Nowadays.
Wow, thank you. Cool. Thank you, D. I'm going to take you off the spot. Thank you so much for your
No
service.
worries. I'll be drawing in the background because
I can't wait to see
I'm,
what you come up with.
I'm working on a strip. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, D.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I hope you guys got something from that. And it was great having D here live so I could go through it. So, and also, another reason that I put D in, and luckily she was here to live with us, is that you could see what a great idea of an avatar that you can make yourself out to be. And we're
Mm.
going to talk a little bit about that later. And here's a couple other finding D strips. I believe this is D getting a COVID shot.
Yep.
And how timely is that the face mask? See, Tom Hart, it's like I know what I'm talking about. We
Right.
started talking about the
Nice guy.
pandemic right before that. Great timing here. And here's one more with some sketches, a
Oh.
sketchiness to it. I love it.
Oh, that's the final though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice,
See,
nice idea there. Yeah.
yeah. So great
Thank you.
concepts, great execution. 10-10. Good job, D. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. This is the kind of strip I do when I can't come up with an idea for a strip. I'm like, wait, my strip is about my life and I've got creative block. I make a strip about it.
I love it. I love it. I should be in this room and you should be leading this. Cool. Thanks a lot, D.
No
Oh,
worries.
oh, one
Whoa.
more. Wow, look at that one. Oh, this is when D sent me this. It's like, oh, this is a little bit of a flex, right? Okay, with the dragon. All right, I see you. But no, this is great stuff. All right. And also you can also see that you can add a little like fantasy or some absurdism to your strip, and it can still make sense if it's kind of fitting the world, kind of like world building of your own stuff. All right, cool. Thanks, Steve. Oh
Mhm.
No
man,
worries.
I put a lot of you in here. I like this one too. All right, let's go. So here's another
Oh yeah.
idea of a journal comic. Tom Hart, you know Drew?
I do. Yeah.
Drew
I don't,
Wing, yeah, Drew Wing was one of my favorite cartoonists. I met him a long time ago. Wait, this strip says 2002. And Drew and his wife Eleanor Davis are both celebrated cartoonists. And Drew was probably one of the first journal comics that I really fell in love with. Like
Mm.
maybe it's just his characters or just how mundane a lot of it was. Like he would have, you know, he would make mini comics that he would sell at comic book conventions, which were kind of like a month of his life. And then you had to just go pick up the next one and the next one. But a lot of them were just like, there's the first panel, I don't know if you can see this clearly, is him sitting on the toilet thinking about comics.
Yeah.
All right, and then by the end of it, he's drawing comics, and it seems real slow. And maybe to people who don't really think visually, this might seem like, wow, why would someone want to draw that? But us cartoonists, this is great fodder, right? I would, and also there's a lot of bravery in doing things like this, and that's another thing I love about journal comics. They can be very brave, they can be very cathartic. There's a lot of things you can take out of a journal comic. And I wonder, can I quiz the Zoom, Tom?
Yeah. Yeah, they
Are,
can respond
are
in the chat. Sure.
yeah, are a lot of you familiar with journal comics, or have you done them, or do you do them? That's fantastic. Oops, D, you're just taking over. All right. And here's another one. This is kind of, it might be hard to see, and it's kind of on purpose. So in this script, Drew is at his drafting table trying to work on his script, and he's so tired, his vision is getting blurry, and he actually blurred out the panel to put us in the seat of him trying to focus and draw. So I thought that was really cool. Blurry, must concentrate, blur, blur, blur. So this is another way that you can kind of take just the things you have available and kind of make them work for your strip. Kind of how like D did a blue line panel to show sketchiness. All those options on your Photoshop that you never really use. This is a great place to try to put some of those things in. And we have a couple more things we're done. So also here's James Kolchaka. So James Kolchaka he's still a incredible cartoonist, and he's done everything, and he's also been a musician and probably like one of the pioneers of journal comics. And I'm not exactly sure how long, Tom, maybe 10 years or something. I don't know how long he was doing the journal
That
comics.
he did American Elf. I think a little longer.
Like 14 years, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he created a daily journal comic called American Elf. And the reason I put his picture up here is because if you notice on either of the images between him, uh, there's an elf who's walking around with like buck teeth. That is his avatar of himself. So inside the American Elf strips, there not everybody's an elf. I believe his wife's an elf, he's an elf, and his best buddy's the dog who sleeps on the floor. It is
Yeah.
right, and there's nothing else more to it. It's just what he decided to do. And you can actually he stopped doing the strips, but there's collections, and I think there's 3 or 4, maybe an omnibus that you could get from Amazon.
Yeah.
So and here's some of the work. And you want to talk about simplicity. This strip is about him thinking about drawing a strip, how meta, right? And brushing his teeth. So, kind of thinking about your life in these really mundane, slow moments kind of slows us down too, right? Again, when I go talk about smelling the roses a little bit, like think about the moments where you might have the most clarity. It might be walking your dog, right? Or it could be sitting out on the back step with a cigarette,
Yeah. Yeah.
stealing yourself before you go back in the house to deal with whatever you have to go deal with. Those
Yeah.
are those are great moments to think about for a journal comic or a journal strip. I like this one too. Quick trip to the car. Boots are tied too tight to squeeze my feet in, but I feel too lazy to untie and retie them. It's like walking in high heels. Clomp, clomp.
Oh, that's great.
Right? It's so good, and it's so quiet.
Yeah.
And also one of the things I love about Kolchaka's strips is like they're not so measured out, like they're not like perfect panels. Like he drew this on his lap, on an angle. A lot of us draw kind of on an angle, and you have to write your paper and realize everything's crooked. Like he did it, and it's done. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
also, I think there's something to say about things not being perfect. And I know, also a lot of us, especially if you're someone who draws and you don't have a lot of time to draw, you might really kind of beat yourself up. feeling like you have to get this perfect. It's got to be the perfect mailbox. Or, oh, you know what? I'll get back to it next week because I just didn't draw it the right way. Just do it. Just
Mhm.
draw it, ink it, and move on.
Yeah. Finish
Um,
it.
yeah, just finish it, Tom Hart. And I think that's that for that. All right. So does anybody have any questions? Finish not perfect. That's right. Anybody have any
Yeah.
questions about my little slideshow there? And
I was in American Elf once and I forgot what he drew me as.
he drew you. What were you, an elf or were you something
I don't
else?
remember. I gotta find it somewhere.
Were you
I
like
won't be
a
able to do it tonight, but
were you like a bunny rabbit or something?
I think it
That's
was
what.
something like that. I don't think I was anything exciting like a monkey or a robot.
That's
I
so cool.
can't
Oh,
remember.
I saw what you did there. All right. Okay, so now we're going to get started, and I hope everybody is kind of like, either if you're not already kind of con concepting ideas or thinking about stuff, this would be a good time to kind of get your kit ready. All right.
Okay. Your
So
idea ready.
yeah, get your stuff ready, and I'm sure some things are flowing. And I've been trying to feed you some things while we've been talking. Hold on one second. I got to get my act together here. All
Your
right.
kit ready. I like that.
You like get your kit ready. All right. All right. Let's try this. Uh, all right.
Oh, look at that.
Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
All right. So I am going to turn around and start drawing. So just in case anybody's interested, I am a traditional cartoonist. I love paper, but just for expeditions expediting sake, I do everything digitally now. So I have a Huion tablet. I do not subscribe to Wacom. I like other things besides. Somebody thumbs me up there, like yeah. So I love my Huion tablet. So I'm going to kind of walk through things here with you. Welcome.
Are you against Wacom? Are they not? Should we?
No.
Okay.
I'm
I don't
not.
know.
I'm not planning a coup or anything. It's just that especially for the longest time, that was the only game in town,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
they kind of held court over anybody that wanted to draw digitally. And more often than not, in every cartoonist group I know, somebody's like, "Yo, my pen stopped working. You anybody know how to fix this?
Mhm.
Anybody know the drivers? There's always a problem." And I've always felt like you pay so much money for this tech, it should work 9 times out of 10. But I felt like you usually have more problems and troubleshooting with the stuff than it was actually working for you. So when these new games showed up in town, like Huion and X-Pen, and there's another one like Sincell or something, I don't know what it's called.
Hmm.
Like, this stuff works. I'm not launching a rocket for my computer. I'm drawing cartoons. It shouldn't be that complicated. So, but this stuff works for me.
All
So,
right.
okay, all right. So, welcome to Friday Night Comics. That's me. And I wanted to kind of start off here um, with your kind of avatar. What do you look like? So, like, D is a shining example of being comfortable drawing yourself. If you haven't already, how would you characterize yourself in cartoon form? I just drew somebody with some sweepy bangs here as an example. On the left over here, it's like maybe you decide that you're kind of like a simplified version of yourself. Or maybe over here, it's a little more cartoony with some kind of big Archie Andrews ears. Or maybe down here, you're like a grim, serious, you know, kind of like more realistic idea of yourself. Or maybe you're a slice of blueberry pie, right? So sometimes the best things come out of absurdity. Or I like this cat down here too, and this was kind of my idea from American Elf. Sometimes
Hmm.
you can kind of get away with more things when your character doesn't look like you. That might be some sort of like emotional blockage we all have.
Hmm.
I don't want to draw myself, but I'll draw myself as a block of cheese, and then I can just be unhinged. and draw what I ever want to draw. But if it looked like me, then I showed this to somebody. They'd go, "Well, do you really think like that? Is that how you feel about me?" Right. But maybe giving yourself an alter ego in your strip kind of allows you to be more free in your cartooning, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then also I have this like lemon head guy over here, which I'm kind of falling in love with quickly. Um, so maybe this will be the time if you haven't figured out what your character looks like, that we spend some time on that. So I know this is a working workshop, so let's work. If you already have something already kind of mapped out, or something that you usually tell stories with, a character you tell stories with, that's fine. uh, maybe you'll just be ready to jump to the next part, or you can start concepting whatever you're going to use as your achievement comic tonight. Um, but let's spend a couple of minutes just with this up and let you guys draw. So during this part, I can draw I can draw myself literally and
Yeah.
figuratively. Um, but I also don't want to distract the room.
Oh,
So like,
we like to see people draw.
okay, all right. I just, I want to be sure. I don't want,
Oh,
people kind of like, oh wait, oh shit, I missed a moment. I was drawing myself. I forgot. I was looking at this guy. So yeah,
you got to live up to Dee's example, huh?
too late. I lost already. So, and this is kind of like one of my quick go-tos, as I do as a children's book author. I do a lot of school visits. So I usually kind of win the room over when I draw in front of them, because kids like that stuff. It's like we
Mhm.
call it in the cartoonist world, that's the magic trick. How'd you draw that show? That wasn't there. Yep. Just did that. So one thing that I'm kind of known for in cartoon world is I usually wear a bucket hat. And I will not wear my bucket hat because it is 20 degrees outside. So I have another type of hat on tonight. Uh,
Oh,
well, it's more like an Indiana Jones thing, but you get it. And also a tried and true thing, if you ever find yourself in front of 300 fourth graders, is show them your baby picture. They really enjoy
oh,
that. It disarms them. What is that, you? But you're old. No, I was young at one point.
hmm.
And they just like smoke starts curling out of their ears and they just can't handle that. So, but yeah, generally, if you're familiar with my work, and that's not Leon related, I always have drawn myself in my work. In my first self-published work, I had a comic called the Jamar Chronicles. And I just, in another interview I did, I just figured out that I called it that because if you are old like me, you might remember Doonesbury from the newspaper strip. And one of the
Sure.
first hardcover collections of Doonesbury was called the Doonesbury Chronicles.
Hmm.
So, but anyway, in that strip, I keep saying strip, I'm sorry, in that comic, I drew myself with kind of like very bewildered earthworm Jim eyes. That was I'm dating myself.
Earthworm what?
Earthworm Jim, remember that?
No. What's Earthworm Jim?
It was a video game, and
Oh, oh,
also, yeah, that Doug Tenapel created,
oh.
and that was a big deal. But there was kind of like the early '90s, kind of like big bug-eyed cartooning was a thing. So this was kind of like a version of me with the Calvin and Hobbes shirt when I was a little younger then. So even though it's all me, it's kind of like different versions of me, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. So, I've had the dreadlocks for a really long time, and that's just kind of that's me. All right. So if anybody has any questions about kind of creating a character out of themselves, please put it in the chat or raise your hand, and I'll give you guys a couple more minutes, and then we'll move on. But some other things to think about when you're trying to create a character of yourself is kind of like the old cartooning rule of exaggeration. You think about exaggeration. Now, I know we all kind of have our hangups about ourselves. Oh, I hate my nose. Oh, man, if I didn't have this weird thing on the back of my neck, people would love me. Whatever the thing is that you have. Um, Sometimes those are the things that are more pronounced to you that kind of stand out that could maybe be part of your character. I think it's always disarming to kind of make fun of yourself before someone else does. So, um, you know, but you don't have to go that route. I've been looking at this, and Tom Hart, tell me if you've seen this. There's a bunch of people on social media who are like caricature artists who have
Mhm.
channels where they, you see, they show a picture of the subject, and then the guy's drawing, and they show the picture of the people smiling.
No.
Then he rips off the paper, goes, "Here you go," and the people react.
Yeah.
That's the big ta-da. That's the ding moment of being a caricature artist. You pull a paper and you give it to them. Now there seems to be a trend in ugly caricatures.
Oh,
So right, so think about you sitting down with your spouse, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get drawn, and then they give you this picture where you have like barracuda teeth. Is that funny to you? Depends on what you what think you're about to get into. But some people kind of excel in being like really kind of like mean caricature artists. So I'm just
so they
enthralled. Hmm? Go ahead.
do they know the person they're drawing or
No, it's like when you go to the fair, and
oh, sure.
and
Sure.
you sit down at the chair and you get drawn. I mean, if you're paying attention, there's like examples all over the booth, but sometimes people are still really shocked
Yeah.
because you have an idea of what you look like,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think people assume that we share whatever is in your head, right?
Sure.
Then when somebody gives you their idea, and I've spent a couple of sessions in the caricaturist chair drawing. Uh, that doesn't look like me is usually the
Yeah.
response people will give
Oh.
you. You know what I mean? So anyway,
And
I don't want
what do you do as a caricaturist when that happens?
hopefully they still pay you, but that's that's kind of part of the gig, right? It's like, what are you sitting down for?
Hmm.
Like you see how I draw because the samples are all over the place. It should just be a fun, happy memento of the evening, but sometimes I see people walk away upset. But that's like, again, the power of cartooning right there. It's interesting. Tom, were there any questions about any of that stuff?
No, I
All
think
right,
we're ready to
all right,
draw our achievement comic.
let's move on. Okay, so I have a couple other things I wanted to put on here, and then we'll get going. So we did characters. What's this? A win is a win by any other name. So this is just kind of like a quick prompt to help guide you into your strip. Um, think about something in your life that you felt like was maybe a personal achievement, or even, like I said, you mistakenly put your wife's favorite sweater in the dryer and it didn't shrink. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
That could be a quick two panel. Um, and what's this one? Kind of forget what I put here. All right, here we go. Take. Let's make some comic. So, and I need to ask you this, Tom. Do you kind of have a standard for your sessions, or kind of like how many panels everybody draws, or it's up to them? How
You
does that
know,
usually work?
we tend to fall into the 4 panel thing, but 3 panels is good. And believe it or not, a lot of times we do like 4 minutes per panel. We sort of whip them out sometimes,
Okay, all right.
but we can go longer if you like. And we like, you decide the pace.
Well, let's all right. Well, let's think about this. So,
Okay.
I hope while we've been talking and having such a wonderful evening together, and thank you guys for being here again.
Yeah.
Um, I hope some of you guys have been coming up with ideas for what you can do, and a lot of that is predicated by how you're setting your page up. Is this going to be like a single panel idea? Is this going to be more than a single panel idea? So once you incorporate more than one panel, we are now bringing in time to your strip. So, I'm assuming almost everybody here is has some relationship with cartooning. So in every panel, time is going to pass just a little bit. So is your story, does it need 3 panels? Does it need 4 panels? That's really up to you. And I can't really tell you what to do. But just know that you have options and you don't have to fill all these boxes, so to speak, if that's not the story you're trying to tell. I hope that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. And like we could do one panel if it shows the victory, right?
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
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 Or
Kind
two.
of like, yeah, one kind of like the Keith Knight little victory strips. You saw it all right there. There's maybe
Yeah.
a little more writing involved than just the art, but I think it
True.
all works if the storytelling stays tight. I was going to speak quickly about single panel strips, and single panel strips are a lot harder than they sound.
Mm.
And this is me kind of going back into teaching like some very rudimentary things. One of my old assignments, and that's what I love about teaching with kids, that it works for everybody. One of my favorite assignments I've ever done is I see Nico. Nico, hey Nico, how are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Nico is a student of mine back in the day. One of my favorite things is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, where
Yeah.
you have all right, this is great. You have a page, and I'll give this out freely. You have a whole page. You can make as many panels as you want to show the reader how you make a peanut butter and jelly
Oh,
sandwich.
yeah.
But hold on, here's the big but. The big but is you cannot use any words or
Yeah.
no dialogue. You can use, you can label the peanut butter jar or the jelly jar or the bread bag, but it has to be all wordless, right? And then
Yeah.
I
So
just
so how many panels do you need is the question, right? It could be like 15 or something, right? Or
right. So that's one of my favorites. And then another one, if we're thinking about kind of like a single panel idea, is thinking about nursery rhymes, right?
Mhm.
Think about like who was the dude that jumped over the candlestick?
Little Jack, no, Jack be quick.
Jack be nimble,
No,
right?
Jack be
Right?
nimble. Jack,
Right.
just Jack. Yeah.
Just Jack. So so like you think about that in the context of one panel. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jumped over the candlestick. And then I
Nice.
think there's like another part where he like burns his pants or something like that. I think that's easy enough to translate into one panel, right? Maybe you see
Mhm.
Jack like in mid jump with the candle like right up his backside, right? And that smoothly tells the story of that
Yeah.
nursery rhyme. Do you need 3 panels to do Jack Be Nimble? I mean, you could, but that's really up to the cartoonist. So I just want to kind of give you some ideas so you don't feel like you're constrained by the empty white box. I know that kind of freaks people out sometimes.
What are you gonna draw?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I've been running my mouth, so I'm gonna think of something down.
Yeah, I never thought, for some reason I always thought it was Jack initial B nimble, but it's probably Jack like is nimble and Jack is
Right,
quick. Yeah, I
right.
never thought of those as
Oh,
adjectives.
oh, B is like Brian is like his middle name.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was his name, but I
Jack
get
Jack Brian Nimble, Esquire.
it.
I
Right,
love it.
Elias in the chat says kind of like Johnny Be Good. Yeah,
Like
that's
Johnny Be Good. That's right. Um, all right. So, I'll think of something while we're going here. All right. And I remember last time, Tom, I drew a strip, and it kind of caught me off guard. I kind of One of the
Oh
best
yeah.
things is when you can kind of surprise yourself, where you go, "Huh, I didn't think that was going to happen."
Oh,
So
nice.
I think I have something for you. All right. Um,
Oh.
so while everybody's drawing, like, Tom, is there like a witty banter component when everybody's like pencils down and drawing, or is it just
You,
quiet? Is it pregnant silence? Like, how do you guys do this?
you're a podcast. podcaster by trade, right? You always want to be podcasting. Um,
ABP, always be podcast.
ABP. We can keep podcasting. That's okay.
All right.
So you went to some of the early SPXs, like 1990, say four or
Oh yeah, my first one I think was 98. I wanted to say I kind of found out about it in 97 and I just wasn't ready yet, or um, I didn't make it there. So
and
uh,
you were in Philly at the time. I'm trying to remember when it started.
I think it was like 96,
Yeah,
it might be 96, 97.
seems about right.
And for everybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, the Small Press Expo in Bethesda, Maryland was kind of not the first, but it was like one of the kind of like more magnetic independent comic shows
Yeah,
uh, on the East Coast that happened, and it just kind of like drew all of these really fantastic cartoonists to a Holiday Inn in Bethesda, Maryland, and it was kind of my introduction into the comic book world. Because before that, I was a fan, and I had never exhibited before. Now I have my own product, and I'm at this table, and oh, yo, there's Frank Miller over there. There's Evan
yeah,
Dorkins over there. Like everybody's in this room together, and it was just kind of celebrating the love of comics. And that's where I probably met a lot of people. I swear I met Tom at some point at an SPX. But
yeah,
now there's so many shows that kind of they do what SPX does, but SPX still has its own kind of charm to it, if that
yeah.
makes.
Culture.
Um, so also to that in that spectrum, one of the newer ones is like CXC. Have you been to that yet?
Yeah, I went 2 years ago. I didn't go last year. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go this year because Carol Tyler has a show at the Billy Ireland I want to see.
very cool. Yeah, I think it's the Cartoonist Crossroads of Columbus. Is that
Yeah,
what the three X CXC?
CXC.
Uh, and I believe it was founded by Jeff Smith, who created Bone and some other really great people. And it's a really great show. I'm saying that as someone who hasn't been there yet, but I'm planning on going this year.
Oh,
Uh,
great. I'll see you there. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go because I really got to see Carol's show. I
yeah,
think very highly of her.
yeah. And what other shows were kind of like that, like Mice or Mocha? Is
Yep.
Mocha still happening? Yeah.
Yeah, March 8th, I think. Or no, March 15th this year.
And there's also like a man, I forget the name of it. Nico might know. There's also a small show in Philly that's gaining traction. That kind of has the same vibes with a lot of indie cartoonists. So if you, not to say that you have to go make a comic and go sit up at one of those shows, but at least go to the show. It's very inspiring for anybody to be in a room full of like-minded people. You know how they used to say things, and I think it's kind of like not it's out of vogue. Finding your tribe. I'm sure there's a better way to say that in 2025, but just being in a space with people
Yeah,
who are
totally.
doing the same thing that you're trying to do is really life changing.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you just, it starts off maybe you meet another fan of the same thing and you hit it off with those people and then slowly you start to sort of create a little traction as cartoonist yourself and then one of you applies for a table and then, and stuff like that happens. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic.
So Jackie mentions Cake in Chicago. There's also the one
Oh,
in Toronto I haven't been in. There's
yeah.
Seattle has Short Run. LA and San Francisco each have something.
Oh, yeah. Wow. See, and at one point there weren't all these things, and I think this, it's a fantastic time that now you can just wherever you are, there's probably something for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, don't sit home when these things are in your town. Get up and go.
And one problem, but maybe it's a problem that's creating opportunities, is like those are all often full. Like there's no table space left. And so newer cartoonists, younger cartoonists, they sort of, in a weird way, have to create their own shows to get
Yeah,
seen. So
yeah,
there's like really small pop-up shows happening, little zine fairs that are happening that are designed to be a little more off the beaten path. But those are people come to those.
yeah, yeah. And you might find your next best friend at one of those.
Yeah, totally. Oh, wow, you're drawing a post office comic.
Oh, man, the best kind of comics.
These usually don't go well.
Is there a history of post office comics in the?
I don't know. I used to love the post office, but I've just had years of bad experiences there. Mostly long lines, and sometimes crabby people, but I fell out of love with the post office.
Well, you know what's changed it for me is uh, like having those kind of services, like the kind of expediting services at home, like stamps or pirate ship, or those kind of
Mm,
things, where you can kind of like they give you a scale and you pay some sort of monthly rate, and you can
oh,
kind of
right.
make your own postage at home. So that's really saved me a lot, especially when I have to like go to mail stuff a lot. Um, where I can do all that at home, and then I just show up and just drop it on the table and leave. But just standing in that line is a drag. So I'm with you on that, Tom Hart. Um, how is everybody doing? Or does anybody have any? I don't know. I feel like
Really enjoy.
I want to interact with your people, Tom. Does anybody have any questions about doing this stuff, or even just like you know things that you may have unlocked in your own being at one of
Well,
the
we can
salt
do a little
workshops?
sharing out pretty soon.
Oh, we had sharing already.
Well,
Oh,
soon, soon.
soon, soon. Okay. I'm
Um,
also mindful of the time, so.
I want to see what your story's about. Maybe it's about somebody doing a comic about peanut butter and jelly at the post office.
I love
I
it.
I'm saying things like that to stall because I haven't drawn a single thing yet. Um,
Tom, do you usually draw during these?
yeah, I, little
Yeah.
victories, little victories. The thing about that Keith Knight cartoon is I think the numbering is correct, right? It said like little victory number 4,323 or something. Like I think he's
Yeah,
drawn
yeah,
that many or something.
yeah. He's keeping count, which I think that's wild. Um, so another kind of, if I can put on my teacher hat for a second, another thing that I really love about teaching journaling or teaching about journal comics is it's a great way to work on your observational skills, especially in the world we live in, where everybody's so focused on kind of like the micro versus the macro. Um, you know,
Mhm.
saying that, what did you, hey, Tom, what did you do yesterday? I don't know, but like, no, really, what did you do yesterday? Oh, well, I woke up and then, I fed the cat, but then I realized the cat was out of cat litter, and then I had to go to the Walgreens, and then somebody robbed the Walgreens. Like, so kind of like zooming out a little bit and having to pay attention to kind of even you're like the life you're living, I think is a really fantastic thing to chronicle. And then looking back at the stuff, you might go, oh man, I almost forgot about that. Like
Yeah,
what a great way to keep those memories alive. There was a
that's it.
point. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
Oh, I
Tom.
was just gonna say that's a great reason to do daily comics like this, but go ahead.
Yeah, and even if you don't have that kind of time in your life to commit to doing like a daily comic, you know, kind of do it at the end of the week, on Friday night.
Hmm,
you're gonna do like one strip. So then you're probably keeping notes in your mind, or at least maybe on paper, of things that happened to you all week, but what's the best thing for your strip this week? Which kind of makes you excited in a different way, right? It's like, oh, I can't wait to go home and do this strip. I've been waiting all week for this,
Yeah.
you know, versus, watching Dwayne Johnson movies on Netflix. Like there's a million other things you could be doing.
I wonder how many Dwayne Johnson movies there are.
A
It's
lot.
a lot, huh?
So many Dwayne Johnson movies.
I think he's got a skincare line or something now.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. What is it? What is the skincare line called?
I'm not sure. Maybe if anyone knows, they'll put it in the chat. I was at a store and I'm pretty sure I saw like, oh, Ang says it's a, oh, geez. Ang says it's a shampoo line. And then
What?
some jokes are coming out. Moisturize your rock, the pumice rock. Oh my gosh. Ooh, look at that Zipatone, the fake screen. I love it. Oh, I love that so
Yep.
much. I will
Shout
love
out.
that till the day I die.
Yes. Shout out to Clip Studio Paint. My favorite thing. I kind of also wanted to talk about what people are drawing with these days because, you I feel like the tech has changed so much, and with, maybe even up and coming cartoonists who, maybe don't have a lot of history with just drawing on paper. Like
Hmm.
do you have a lot of like Procreate people in your classes, or they're like watercolor people, or how does that usually work?
Procreate's definitely making some inroads. You know what? It won me over. Well, I guess you're digital now too, but
Yeah,
March of this year, no, April of this year, I gave myself a month to sort of like learn the tools and I haven't really gone back.
yeah.
And it feels weird. I even walked by, this was like May, like, a month later, I walked by my art supplies, which I've used for 30 years.
Right, right, right.
And in my mind, it wasn't a real thought, but it happened in my head. My mind said, "Oh, I'll have to get rid of those. I don't need those anymore." And I was like, and then I was like, "Wait a minute, mind. What did you just say?"
Hey, mind, were you playing tricks on me?
Yeah, because I don't approve of that. But I haven't used them since, but I'm certainly not going to get rid of them. But yeah.
Hmm. I sometimes I feel kind of guilted into going back and doing things on paper, and it feels really good when you do. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I missed this. Um, but
Yeah.
I kind of fell fell in love with not those Posca paint markers.
Yeah, I know. I haven't used them much, but I do know them.
So some people in my kind of like in my hemisphere that I'm doing work in now are really into remarks. And if you're familiar with the remark, um, that's usually when people buy a comic and then instead of just signing it, you're actually painting on the cover of it, like making a little
Oh,
drawing on top of the artwork.
in
So I,
a little bit of color, like, or just line art, or
so hold on. This is my X-Men. I'm enjoying this. Hold on one second. X-Men.
right?
That's Cyclops. So then, like, you might have in the bottom corner, like, you can wipe this part out
Oh,
and then draw, like a character in it.
oh my God, it's so not mint condition after that.
No, I just made myself laugh. Look at that. Arrgh. Right. Yeah. But, people are into this.
I'll
So,
look
but
it up.
yeah, but usually people do this in like Posca paint markers because they lay down a really like solid
Hmm.
uh, you know color. But I found these things called no, somebody actually gave these to me called magic flies. Those are like the Amazon markers, where you get a whole basket for like $10. There's like 900 markers in it. Like these can't be good markers. They're too cheap.
Right.
But these things called magic fly um, are really good markers, and they have two tips. They have like a chisel and like a bullet tip,
Uh-huh.
and I like these. So I've been kind of enjoying kind of making marks with those.
So you lay down some white gouache on the cover
Oh no,
before?
you could just use like the white pen from the
Oh,
process.
wow. Wow.
You know what I mean? And then you just kind of draw a thing on top of it. I know if you're like a comic book completist or a purist, you're like, what? I would never do that.
Yeah.
But people are into that. Anyway, I just distracted myself. I'm sorry, Tom. And I'm mindful of the time, so are we cool to keep kind of drawing, and then we'll have sharing?
Maybe well, I want to pull back and see your story
You want to look at
soon.
mine?
Well,
Well, here it is.
oh, there's the $100. I see. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow.
Oh wait, how come I'm not wearing glasses? What's wrong with me?
Oh, you weren't wearing glasses when you drew younger you too. Is that a later you think?
Yeah, like later me is glasses, younger me is not glasses. Even though I think I always needed glasses,
Hmm.
youth is wasted on the young, Tom Hart. So the funny thing about this was, and I'm probably going to embellish a little bit, is that I swore this was a trap. I said that a little earlier. I was
Yeah.
like, and then I felt guilty, but then I felt like I'd be remiss if I didn't pick this up and put it in my pocket. But just this good fortune gave me so much agita. I almost wanted to just leave it there. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
like I thought, wow, this is great. I could use $100. And then I was like, well, shit, I feel bad. I'm sorry, I don't mean to curse. I feel bad for whoever dropped this because
I
they
know.
probably really needed
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? But
But
then,
leaving
right?
but leaving it there is just gonna be gone in 10 seconds. So
Right. And then
can't do that.
somebody else gets $100.
Yeah. It was
You
meant
know
to
what I mean?
happen.
So yeah. So what a great idea for a journal comic, right?
A great use of that. Clip Studio
Oh yeah, I love it.
Zipatone.
And it's so simple too. Tom, do you use this stuff or what? Are you still traditional? What do you do these
No, I
days?
like I said, mostly I'm doing Procreate and
Oh, you said you did say that. I'm sorry.
yeah, but I stopped kind of cutting my own Zipatone.
Mm.
Well, I guess the book I put out in 2016, I used a lot of Zipatone. I don't think I've really used it since though. I love it, but it takes a long time.
Yeah, it does. And also, but this when you do this stuff, you don't have to worry about pieces of adhesive on your elbows.
Or in your hair.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I'm just going to try to juxtapose.
And if you're okay with it, I'll ask for a few people who are ready if they want to share.
Oh
We
yeah,
can
that'd be
line up a few. I want to be mindful and make sure we're out by the bottom of the hour. So I'm going to put in the chat, I'm going to put some other ways to share so we can check in with y'all later. But we definitely have some people who'd like to.
well. I can take my thing off the screen. I
Yeah,
can
when you're
stop.
ready, we can take a look. Oh, there we go. All right. Hey Jamar, do you have a zoom hand on the bottom of your
Those,
it says
oh,
raise hand or something like that on the bottom of your interface?
React.
Yeah, it might be there. If you can,
You
raise
want me to?
that. I'm going to raise mine too. It just puts us up a little higher in the grid, but let's
Okay.
take a look at some of these.
All right. Cool.
All right. So we'll take a look at Elias, Paula, Emma, a couple more. All right, I'll ask you to unmute. We'll spotlight you. You can show us what you did. Wait,
Okay.
there we go.
I went the single panel route,
Mm.
but so I did several of them. Um, By the way, this was perfect for me tonight because I had a really crappy day at work. I made a really dumb mistake, and I felt like I really needed a win.
Yeah,
So, and this is all about our wins. So this
awesome.
is exactly perfect for me today. So we have achievement unlocked, getting all the laundry folded and put away.
Yes.
And there I am, wondering which one of my children this tiny shirt belongs to.
Whose tiny shirt is this? That's fantastic.
um, achievement unlocked, finding my PO box full as hell.
Yes, that's fantastic. Isn't that
That's
the best? Can't you kind of
yes.
you can tell when it's full when you put your key in, right? You're like, oh, there's
Right,
stuff
right,
in
right,
here.
Right. Like the lock is like pushing against
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
oh, that's fantastic.
Achievement unlocked. Actually exercising daily for a couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
it actually makes me feel good.
Oh, those are great. Those are fantastic. Yeah, yeah. You understood the assignment. I love it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Great
Thanks,
job.
Elias.
Thanks a lot.
All right. We'll go to Paula
Uh,
and Emma. Here we go.
Hi,
Hello.
this is what I drew. Are you guys on Instagram at all? Because I was really want to join you on Instagram.
Sure. We'll put it in the chat, Paula.
Both of you, the man, the man that
Jamar.
hosts yourself, and the other man, I've forgotten his name, Jim or somebody.
Oh,
Ja-
Jamar, that guy, me.
All right,
Yourself, yes.
I just
Sorry,
put
I'm not very
Jamar's
good with names.
in the
Sorry.
That's
chat.
okay. That's
Oh,
okay.
thank you. Right, this is me on my phone. This is
Uh,
me on the toilet, no toilet paper.
oh no.
Me, what am I doing in this one? Me blocking my ears because I'm going into a loud tunnel. Me treading in dog soil.
Oh man.
What's this one? Let's check what this one is. Me having a bath after being soaked by a car.
Oh
Wow.
my.
You had a rough day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. It's so
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks,
I really
Paula.
enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh, you're
Right.
welcome.
We'll go to Emma next.
Hello.
Loved those, Paul. That was awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, so here's me trying to figure out how to draw my avatar.
Yes.
So I ended up going with something like this one. That's wrong.
Ooh.
I realized I can't do myself. I'll just focus too much on making it true.
Gotcha. No, that's great.
So I ended up doing one about, I do a lot of cooking. What to make for dinner? Lentil soup. Oh no, are there any lentils left? And there was exactly one.
Oh, that's perfect. What a victory. And I love the eyes on your avatar. That's great.
Yeah. Love
That's
that.
fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. Okay, we'll go to Eli when Eli's ready, then Sarah, then Jackie. Here we go.
Hi.
Hello.
This is great. My friend makes these really cool ornaments.
What?
I know, aren't they amazing?
Yo, that's wild.
And like this. So her hands are messed up now, so now she's doing paper. So she made one of me, and I was like, oh, it's not. You guys probably think it looks exactly like me, but I am like, no, it's not done.
Right. Oh, that's
But I
fantastic.
still am very pleased. So mine is, of course, more like a verbal story. So my boyfriend, his battery died and in his car, and I wanted to help him out, but he hates it when I help him because I always mess everything up. So I was like, let me just put it's easy to put a new battery in. I'll just do it while you're at work and it'll be done. And he's like, no, because you're just like Mr. Bean. It's all going to be messed up. I wanted to prove him wrong. So while I was at work, I snuck off and I bought a battery and put it in his car, and then realized it was the wrong one, and the terminals were reversed, and it fit, but it was all messed up. And I did Mr. Bean it, and I couldn't let him know. So I had to sneak out in the middle of the night to a 24-hour auto parts store and buy the right battery and in the dark switch it out while he was asleep. So he never knew that it happened. He never knew the Mr. Bean part worked. So that was my success, is that I hid my Mr. Bean
Man,
mess up.
that's fantastic. Under the guise of darkness too. I also love
it was dark.
I love the yellow that you put in the last panel because it's nighttime. I love it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
fantastic.
awesome.
Mr. Bean strikes again.
Great use of
Thanks.
color too. It's fantastic. Good job.
This
Thanks,
was super
Eli.
fun. Thank you. It was a great
Thank,
class.
thank you.
All right, we'll go to Sarah next.
Hey, Sarah.
Okay. Oh, it's a big mess behind me. Okay.
I won't
Woo!
look. I won't look, I promise.
Okay, I did a simple one. Finding the okay. How does every sock have a hole? Oh my God, this one doesn't even have a bottom part because I keep finding ones that are like I made cuffs out of them or something. I don't know. And then, yes, I found two that are the same size at least.
Oh, that's so fantastic. That's so great. And it's just like, where are my socks and why don't they match? I love it.
Yes,
And I love your
everything.
style too. That's great.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah.
Fantastic.
Just two that
Messy.
are the same size.
Everything's messy. Yeah.
The
Thanks,
socks are
Sarah.
the
Thank you.
same.
Thanks
You have
so
a
much.
you have
All
a
right, we'll go to
crew and a
Jackie.
no-show. Yeah. Hi, Jackie.
Hello. I have that was me dorking around with some avatars.
Oh, those are great.
Thank you. Let me see if I can get this in okay. Just this 3-panel thing that I did. I tend to be very hard on myself when it comes to my daughter's development. And that's no, honey. We're gonna walk to the hair place because the brakes don't work. Like everything is such a struggle and it's somehow my fault for not working hard enough with her. Then afterwards we can get donuts. But then I forget how far she's come.
Mm.
My daughter has autism, by the way. And she used to not even be able to tolerate a haircut. And they're like, there you go, sweetheart. So pretty. They're like, yeah, oh, you did great. Yeah. So I was like, that's a total win.
Yeah.
I was thinking exactly the same thing like earlier today. So synchronicity. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it.
I love
Awesome.
it. Take that win. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. And
Thanks,
I
Jackie.
love that we're unlocking things in everyone tonight. That's great. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. We'll go to Larned next. Here we go.
Here's my avatar.
Oh, that's so good.
There. Looks similar to me, I think. Anyway, so here's the cartoon that I did. Right here, I look out the window, there's 10 inches of snow in my driveway.
Oh.
Now, what the heck do I do now? I turn around and there is my son-in-law and my grandson shoveling the driveway.
Oh, nice.
Nice surprise.
That's a win.
It actually happened.
I love it. That's great. Yeah, I don't want to go out there.
This is a neat practice.
Oh,
Enjoy.
thank you. Thank you, Lerna. Keep going. That's great. Thank
Awesome. Thanks. We're going to Maria next. Here we go.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks. So this is my little avatar, frizzy hair, and it's been chilly in North Florida this month, so I'm wearing this pink fleece jacket most of the time, not now. And this is, like I have a newborn, so life has changed quite a bit, and like the comic is about me trying to put him to sleep. Starts here. Okay, it's the reverse. So I do these. My sort of husband discovered that like if we imitate like car movement, he falls asleep really quick. So we just do these micro shakes, and then there's the white noise on my phone. So this is me trying to achieve that on the couch. And then you sort of have to moonwalk in really weird movements to put him down. He's like all drooly, and then he opens his eyes, then he closes them. And then when you finally succeed, it feels like the biggest victory ever. But then you realize that, oh, okay, like all these amazing things I'm going to do with my time now. But then you realize you have to clean poop from the changing station or, clean your breast pump or something like that. So, I'm like little victories.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks for this. That's a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I love the watercolor too. That's great.
Thanks so much. We'll go to Genevieve next.
Hey there. So I've been practicing drawing myself with different squid heads and whales and things lately. And I actually started a comic earlier today and I didn't think it was going to be appropriate at all. So I started working on a new one. And then I realized it actually was a huge win and it wasn't bad. But I had the worst experience ever at the dentist yesterday. I went to go get a crown, so they have to drill you down and you have to be in a chair. And they're like, do you want nitrous oxide?
Yeah.
And I threw up everywhere in the middle of the procedure. Like I couldn't control it. It was, you're just getting your teeth done and all of a sudden you're throwing up because the gas made me sick.
Oh no.
So mine is that I threw up at the dentist and I didn't die of embarrassment.
Oh, I love Saturn is inside
Yeah,
your
so it's
throat.
like everything that was coming out emotionally. And I like, if I can laugh about that, then nothing really is that bad.
I need that as a tattoo really bad.
Wow.
Thank you.
That
It
was
was a
great. Thanks.
great workshop. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Cool. We'll go to Miles next.
Hello. Hello.
This was fun.
Okay.
So I am a little bit fuzzy. Yeah.
That's okay.
I always have it 30.
No, we can see it.
Okay, cool. So this is my avatar.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Morphing himself into a flower.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll be out in a second. Sorry, somebody knocked. Where was I? Oh, so the first panel is if you're over doom scrolling, try making a birthday toy wish list, which is what I've been doing all week long because my birthday's coming up.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And this is me in my office and found a perfect little toy. It's a marmal. It's a little marshmallow magnetic guy. And I said, I've been training for this my whole life. And then this is just a little messaging thread. It says, I've been looking for artists and you just to collaborate with, and you just asked. And then Squeaks will be shipping out today. And this is my message. Thank you so much. Just in time for my birthday.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a real thing that happened. They're sending me.
I love I've been training for this my whole. That's great. That's fantastic. I love the use of the pink too. I love the colors, the spot color. That's great.
Thank you. It was fun.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Miles. We'll go to Jeannie next. A few more.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much, Jamar. This was wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
This is my avatar.
I love that.
See, I think it's pretty.
That's fantastic.
Anyway, my win is finding a lane, or at least a half a lane when I go swimming, because sometimes it's really crowded. So the first panel has me in my crazy swim outfit, which is totally multicolored, and people see me coming. Anyway, then this is me walking out to look at the pool, and it's just full of swimmers. And then I walk towards the edge and hear someone who says, "No worries, I'm done." Yay!
Oh wow! I love the plunge. I love the dive.
Yeah.
That's so satisfying.
Yes. Even though my pool won't let us dive in, we have to go in feet first. Must be insurance or something like that.
I love your cartooning license to just dive head first.
Absolutely.
I love it.
For sure, for sure. Thanks, Jeannie.
That's so great.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Gabriel when Gabriel comes on. A few more. We'll finish up with Edgar. Here's Gabriel.
Hello.
Hey, Gabriel.
So, hi, Jamar. First of all, yeah, like Jeannie said, great presentation. There are so many great little nuggets that you've said. I think I filled up like an entire page and a third, as you can see, of just things I want to remember. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
My avatar was actually, I don't know if you saw it before, but the little icon for my thing, that is my avatar. So, and I've been using that a bit for some of these comics. So the one I drew, and I swear to God, despite the subject matter, it was not supposed to look like a 3D image, but it was a nice byproduct.
Yeah.
But you'll find out in a second what I mean. So, this past summer, my wife and I went to go see the Nosferatu remake, and beforehand we both got very stoned, and I don't have as high of a tolerance as she does, and so I was kind of floating away at the beginning. And it's like I don't really like horror movies, and so you'll see me here. It says, "Oh man, I'm way too stoned to be watching a horror movie." And then the next one, the movie's starting, and I go, "Hey, I'm actually pretty calm. I can actually feel the adrenaline running through my veins, and it doesn't hurt." And then this last one is, "Holy crap, I'm actually enjoying a horror movie."
I love it. I love the close up too. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will admit I was a little bit stoned during this class as well, so it helped.
It's all good. I'm glad it helped you. That's fantastic. And is that Gabriel? Is that colored pencil? Is that what you did that in?
Hang on. It's not colored pencil per se. It's Prismacolor.
Oh, gotcha. Very cool. I like the red and blue effect. Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I swear that wasn't intentional, but it was a happy accident.
Nosferatu in 3D.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We'll go to Christian when Christian's ready, but we'll start with Bonnie.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hang on, Christian. We'll get to you in a second. We'll start with Bonnie. Bonnie, are you unmuted? You're not unmuted.
Yes, I am.
Oh, there we go. Good. Go ahead.
Yep. So mine is I kind of drew myself as a rabbit, as I often do because of my name. So here's can you see? It says heading out. Okay, I've got the library books, my passport, tea, and then do I have my phone?
Oh no.
Oh, wait, I forgot I had to move my screen as well.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, oh yeah. Okay, so oh no, it's not like what do I say? It's so hard to do it with it backwards.
I know. This is great.
Not in my jacket pockets, nor in my pants, nor in my breast pocket. And then, oh, oops, what is it? Go away information. And then, oh my goodness, go away. And then I'm freaking out. Arg! And then you can see what's in the little corner or in this part right here.
Yeah, does it fall out your pocket?
Well, I'm holding it under.
Oh, your whole gosh.
In my arm the entire time. And then it falls to the ground. And like I'm panicked. It's just I've been holding it so underneath my arm. So it just ends up me being like, oh, and then found
I love it. And I love your cartooning
Hello.
style too.
Thank you. It's fun to share. This is a really great thing you guys do on Fridays. It's awesome to meet all of you. And like,
thanks, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. That's great.
And I'm looking forward to reading Leon the Extraordinary. So
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Worst friends forever. Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks so much. But we'll go to Christian next. Here we go, Christian.
I didn't get much done, but I'll just show you this. Yeah, I was in a barber today.
Oh, you were in a barber chair.
Yeah.
Oh. That's a win to get a haircut.
That's my barber.
I love it.
She's a monkey.
Did you
that's me.
Did you enjoy your cut? Did you get what you wanted?
Yeah. I already
Awesome.
have one right now. Looks so this.
I love it.
Thanks,
That's
Christian.
Sure.
Yeah,
looks good.
looking fresh, bro. Good job.
Mhm.
All right. Thanks, Christian. We'll go to Judith next. We got
Thank you,
three more.
Hello.
Hi. This is great. This is my avatar. This is a little more detailed usually. I always put myself with glasses and I always put myself drawing.
Yeah.
Makes me feel really good because that's basically what I do is wear
Yes.
glasses all the time. Okay. So what you were talking about, you called it, I forget if you called it a good thing that happened or an unexpected, but I consider it synchronicity.
Okay.
So what happened to me, I'm trying to make sure you could see this. So I'm on an Amtrak train across country. I do that quite often when I travel. And I go to the dining car and I meet a very friendly couple. And because he introduced himself and he said, I'm a Christian publisher. Now, ordinarily, I might not say to just strangers that I live in Jerusalem because sometimes you get a hostile response.
Right.
But he said he was a Christian publisher. And I said, oh, I live in Jerusalem and I make books. And I showed him my book and he took a picture of it. And he said, oh, let's meet for breakfast. He's with his wife. And then he said, but he told me a story. This is kind of, I would have to redo this with voice balloons in the right places. But he said, 20 years ago, I was in Jerusalem and I was sick. And a religious Jew on the street that I didn't know helped me find a doctor. Now, this is the kind of stories that people tell me if they know they tell me a story about someone who's a religious Jew because they think it's a connection, right?
Right.
So it turns out that he took a picture of me with my book because I had a book with me that I had published. He put it on Facebook, and the next morning at breakfast, he shows me his phone, and it's from Saul Rosenberg, who says to him, I know Judith Margolis. I worked with her son at Super Studio 20 years ago.
Wow.
And it was it helped him find a doctor. Now, this is very unlikely, right? He's from Wisconsin and I never met him. And so I love that. Like as if there's this invisible dotted line all over through the world and we encounter people without ever realizing what the connection will be.
Wow, I love that. I love synchronicity. What a great way to phrase
Yeah,
that.
I really depend on it, actually.
Wow.
I didn't depend on synchronicity, or does it have to be a complete surprise every time?
Oh, no, it could be whatever you want it to be. That's fantastic.
I like that.
The tension between random chance and destiny is the thing that I feel is the big question. Anyway, thank you so much. This was really fun.
Thanks so
Judith.
much. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, Edgar, and then Nico finish up.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you for the inspiration, Jamar.
You're welcome.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. I have a very talky one today, but my avatar is generally just me with glasses, and either I have brown hair if I'm young, or I have white hair if I'm old. So, but anyway, this is what I did today.
Oh,
and
wow.
this is my amazing day at the Kennedy Center.
Wow.
And I start out, my morning starts with a life's little victory. As I enter their parking lot to get to my event, the parking lot cashier says, even though you're 2 minutes late, I'll give you the pre-9:30 a.m. price. Wow, thanks a lot, miss. And I think to myself, I saved $9.
Nice.
Yes. So thank you for that, Jamar. I go to the new Reach building to participate in a watercolor workshop as part of a Sound and Health morning. That's for like senior citizens. And Jennifer P., who's one of the people running it from Carnegie, Washington, says, hi, Edgar, nice to see you again. What will you draw today? And I'm holding the piece of watercolor paper she's given me. I'm thinking. And they give you free watercolor paper, brushes, and paint.
Nice.
So anyway, I had accepted an opportunity to participate in a Walter Reed National Medical Center art project called Art in Boots. I decided to make a first study of the pair of black combat boots I selected to decorate. So here I am making a watercolor, little black and white wash.
Wow.
There are two combat boots there. One is my ancestors, my family going back to the Revolutionary War, and I will put different things on there. Here are my boots, my life, and you can see I've got my Minuteman missile that's coming out of the boot. I'll have SAC Airborne Command Post flying off this boot. But you see, the generations are connected by the shoelaces that are tied together. So it's called Generations of Service, Art in Boots, Study Number 1. Many participants respond favorably. At 11:30 a.m., I get a cheap ticket to a National Symphony Orchestra concert. I listen and watch the conductor and musicians play music by Gabriela Ortiz, Beethoven, and Rachmaninoff, and get 3 different story ideas, including for a Twilight Zone episode with only music and sound. and I'm desperately writing down all these ideas on the program I'm given. Then, after the concert, the conductor, Carlos Miguel Prieto, comes back on stage to speak with remaining musicians. He sees me, and I tell him, I found your work intelligent and powerful. Thank you. And also your musicians, also your music and musicians inspired 3 stories. Really? What is your name? It's Edgar Farr Russell III. So he said he'd look me up. But anyway, finally, I sit in my car in the parking lot and attend a Zoom broadcast of gratitude journaling with host Dylan Klempner. He shares a video of poet Elizabeth Alexander reading her poem, Praise Song for the Day, for President Obama's inauguration. The last line is, praise song for walking forward in that light. So I write a poem about the joy and sorrow of generations of my family as reflected in my boots as I show them my watercolor. Wow. And again, it was like, it's like synchronicity. It was meant to be. And so anyway, tonight I'll just show you, this is the drawing I made in the morning sound and health class. So I was able to work on this idea all day long and also get some miscellaneous story ideas. So anyway, but thank you for letting me share this with you.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Look at that.
Awesome, Edgar. Thanks. And to continue
absolutely.
the synchronicity, I know Dylan Klempner. That's so funny.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will tell him. I will tell him that I spoke with you on Friday night.
Tell him I said hi.
The next time I see him or on Zoom, just as I'm seeing you on Zoom tonight, Tom.
All right. Thanks, Edgar.
You bet.
All right. Our last one is Nico. I think this is a friend of yours, Jamar.
Hey, Nico.
How's it going?
Hey.
Hopefully my lighting's not too bad, but here's
great.
some little me's. I just tried kind of looking at myself here and then was trying to push it a little more. So I ended up with this.
Very cool.
And then I came straight from work, so I was still thinking about work. So it's pencil. So it's me asking what the hell is a dither? So and checking out the program T-Steps on my laptop, and then just kind of confusedly looking into that, doing a lot of clicking, and eventually figuring out a new technique for making t-shirts. So I have a little me on there with new technique.
I love it. And I love the mousing. I think it's a great that's a great panel. That's great.
Awesome.
Thank you, Nico. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Great,
thank
great
you.
seeing
Thank you for doing this.
Great seeing you.
Welcome. Thanks, Nico. All right. We'll go back to Jamar. Jamar, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Unlocked.
Yes. Yeah. Ding. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much for tonight. I hope everybody had fun and unlocked a great part of their selves tonight. And the big takeaway is, like, keep doing these. Like,
yeah.
If you found joy tonight, there's so much more to be found if you keep going. I would love to revisit and just see your full sketchbook full of these.
Yeah. I like that idea. It really feels good to do this. And, I struggled to find a victory. I found one. I'll send it to you later, Jamar. But it was like, oh, and it felt good to get it out. It was a real, but it feels real good.
And,
thank you so much.
Thank you. And if I don't know if anybody wants to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at Jamar_Nicholas_cartoonist.
I just put that in the chat. You can all see that, and the bookshop.org. And I'm going to ask everyone to unmute and just give you a round of applause. Thanks so much, Jamar. It's really awesome connecting with you.
Thank you, guys.
Wonderful. Really great.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jamar.
Jamar.
Thank you.
Everybody next time.
Thanks,
All right. Always be podcasting.
Thank you.
Jamar the Extraordinary.